Yeah, so that'll be perfect Steam Deck fodder if you ask me. The next one is called Concord. Get a load of this boy.
They made a game about grape jelly.
You guys, finally.
They did
They did it.
Science has accomplished what no man thought was possible.
Hello, and welcome to Grasstouchers, the show where the three of us guys talk about video games and real life and what we're into, things we like, things we've been doing lately. I am Jake.
I'm Jared.
And I'm Greg.
You in a rush, Jared?
Yeah, I gotta make it quick tonight. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, man. What have we been playing lately?
A lot of Tarkov, and it begins and ends right there for me. Greg?
Excellent.
Well, I was visiting family and friends, including Jake, for the last...
Yeah, you were.
For the last week plus in North Carolina, which was cool. So I brought the Steam Deck with me, and it was wonderful. So I mostly was playing Super Nintendo games on the Steam Deck, playing some Super Metroid, I beat 2 of the 3 Mega Man X games while I was home. My wife played a lot of Dr. Mario, so she's like super into Tetris. And when I got the Steam Deck, I downloaded the Game Boy Color Tetris for her.
Right.
And she played that a lot, and I was like, if you like Tetris, you should play Dr. Mario. She was like, "What's that?" And so I downloaded.
She never
that.
played Dr. Mario.
Yeah,
she played Tetris.
Yeah, she had never played it, and Dr. Mario, those of you that are not familiar, is like actually a really kind of unique spin on Tetris, kind of some different mechanics and stuff. So she played that a lot. I played Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3 just a little bit.
So you're emulating just 100% of the time on Steam Deck so far, is that right?
While I was traveling, yeah, I played some SSX Tricky for PS2, which was cool.
Rock around, it's tricky. Yeah.
I played Power Stone, which shout out to Jared for helping me figure out the Dreamcast BIOS for my Steam Deck. But yeah, mostly just emulation while I was traveling. Bit of nostalgia and just an easy play,
Nice.
So that was it for me.
How's the battery life when you're emulating? Pretty good, probably, right?
Way better than when you're like actually playing stuff from your Steam library.
Right.
I found that
I've been impressed with it just all the way around, especially the OLED version. But
so to give you an idea, like when we flew out to North Carolina, our flight got delayed a bunch.
Right.
And so we were sitting in the airport, and Casey, my wife, was playing Dr. Mario. She probably played for 3 hours sitting in the airport. Handed it off to me. I probably played 2 or 3 hours of Super Metroid or something, and we still had like half battery life left. Like, it was crazy. Like, we probably played for 6 hours, and it only ate up about 50% battery. Whereas... Yeah,
I'll sit there and play Mass Effect and be at a point where I've played multiple missions, and I feel like time has just slipped past me. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm wasting so much time on the Steam Deck. I check the battery life, and it's like 49%. Like, I'm just barely past the halfway mark,
Yeah, so I was kind of shocked. That was a pleasant surprise. So we got a lot of use out of it. It charges really fast, and
yeah.
Hey, how about that Dr. Mario song?
You mean like the music that plays when you're playing the game?
So awesome.
So catchy, dude.
It really is.
Yeah. I can't think of the last time I heard it. I'm gonna have to go look it up real quick. Dr. Mario theme.
I don't get to hear it a lot because Casey plays with the volume all the way down.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, that these games have music to them, and she's like, no, I just don't like hearing it. I'm like, okay, cool, I get it.
My grandma had a Game Boy with Dr. Mario, so that song is quite well scorched into my brain. I'm not mad about it. I like that song.
I just listened to it. That's so good.
I
definitely recognize it from like in Super Smash. There's like a Dr. Mario level or a theme or something.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard it from that. But Well, I've been playing disc golf, man. I've made a return to literal grass touching. Me and Dad got to play some disc golf when he visited. It was great. Played one of our favorite courses that we've played lots of times and shot pretty good. Had some good stuff happen, had some bad stuff happen, but it was just joyous. And then I started off the new year right. Happy New Year to everybody, to the listeners. On the first of the year, I went and played my best round yet at one of the hardest courses in my area. It was awesome. I had 2 birdies, which for little old me is a big deal because I don't play that often. And I sank a 96-foot shot for one of those birdies. It was really sick. The very first hole, even, I threw the disc and just like parked it right next to the basket. It was freaking awesome. I went and played there again today, and it was a little windier, a little colder. I was by myself, didn't have the mojo working. Sure. I'm a little sick, as you can probably tell. And but it's still fun. It's still fun. Disc golf is one of those things that if I just motivate myself to get out there, get the steps in, spend some time outdoors, it is a great time waster of mine. But yeah, Tarkov, I've been playing just a little bit, mostly scav runs and kind of learning the new map a little bit. I've been shamelessly playing just like offline raids in my spare time, lunch break, if I'm working from home or something. And then I finally beat Mass Effect 2 earlier today. Finished off the final, big deal mission. Those of you that have played Mass Effect 2, you may know the final mission is a suicide mission. Except it's not really, because the main character has plot armor and you're not actually going to die. And so I had some success there. And then a little PUBG on the side from time to time. Oh, and I played a little bit of golf with your friends. You guys ever played this on Steam?
No.
It's like an online mini golf game.
I've seen some of it.
That game rocks. It's like relatively low poly sort of like graphics. It's not super good graphics, but my son, I was working from home one day and it was a little slow. And as I was checking on him and taking a break and everything, he was like, "Daddy, I'm bored. I don't know what to do." And I'm like, all right. You're 6. I get it. What do we got? You've had some Switch time. You did a puzzle. We played a memory game before that. Like I'm sort of entertaining him working from home, And he was like, "Can we play that golf game on your computer?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot." Like he and I used to do that. He would sit in my lap and we would play this mini golf game. So that was fun. Very wholesome.
I'm actually designing a game called Golf with Your Enemies, and it links you up with somebody who's racist towards you, whatever race you are, and you just have to sit there and golf with somebody who's just really mean to you.
You put in some demographic information like I'm 33, I'm white,
right.
I love my wife.
Yeah,
like,
it just links you up to some guy in Iran who's just like furious at Americans.
Dude, publish it. Let's go.
Yeah, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. So
that's right.
I'm in my hacker den over here like this.
Dude, I was gonna put something on this soundboard. Did I ever do it? I don't think I ever did this actually. I just have this clip from that one capture I got.
Thanks.
Yeah.
But I was editing the podcast one day and I found some real spicy little one-liners I might have to capture at some point. Yep. Oh man. Cool. Well, hey, real fast. Anybody do anything cool for New Year's Eve?
Got together with some friends. I watched the movie Wild Hogs with them, which is pretty funny.
Wild Hogs?
Yeah, they
like unironically you watched Wild Hogs?
Yeah, we watched Wild Hogs. We're a group of adults, and we watched Wild Hogs.
As one does.
Yeah, it's a New Year's Eve thing, I guess. But it was funny. It held up. It was pretty funny. And we watched the ball drop, and then just normal stuff. We all piled into a one of those econo van things and hit people's mailboxes with baseball bats. It was a good night.
Just Dennis the Menace, just all over the place.
Yeah, we tasered our neighbor nuts and a bunch of stuff like that.
I had some people over for New Year's Eve, and we had we decided our theme for dinner was chili and grilled cheeses, which was freaking great for like a cold night, dude. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was dope. They made a white chicken chili, and I made like a spicy Cajun chili, and we made a bunch of grilled cheeses, and we were picking out. It was awesome. We watched the ball drop. It's so lame. The ball drop.
So
New
lame.
Year's Eve,
Yeah,
New
it was
York thing.
really bad this year.
The whole NYC New York, New Year's Eve like bash thing is so like just vapid, like Imagine by the Beatles. You guys remember the Beatles?
Oh,
Can't we
my
all just get
gosh.
along, man?
Right.
And I am kind of a Beatles hater. I don't really care for the Beatles. I don't really get it. Like, I get that they laid the groundwork for a lot of the music I appreciate today, but like, thanks. Not gonna listen to the Beatles. Like, I don't really
Yeah.
like the Beatles very much. And yeah, the whole vibe of that whole thing. I'll never forget. Did you guys watch? I can't remember if it was like 2020, 2021. There was some year where they got Ninja, like the streamer guy, Ninja. They got him to be one of the like D-list celebrities at New Year's Eve in New York, and it was raining and cold and miserable, and he was up there on this like tower thing above everybody else, sheltered from the rain, obviously.
Right.
And he was like, "All right, guys," clearly reading from a teleprompter very poorly, "we're all gonna floss now." It was like,
Wow.
let's all do Fortnite dances together kind of moment.
Yeah.
And he was like, let's floss. And then everyone was like shivering in the cold
Oh
in
my
their
God.
ponchos. I don't want to do that.
That's awful.
Get this man off the stage. I'm
Yeah.
miserable. This sucks. I've peed in my pants twice now. Like, I can't,
Yeah.
can't imagine ever
Donnie
doing that. I'm never
Wahlberg
doing-
and Jenna McCarthy. I think was that the year that they were doing it? Just like these
Dog,
awful
you've got a-
C-lister.
elephant memory right now. I have no idea. All I remember is this moment where I glanced at the TV and was
Yeah.
like, is that dude from Twitch? Like,
Yeah. And everyone's out there
Really
just like
wild.
wearing diapers and pissing their pants and stuff.
Yeah, because it's so crowded you can't leave, and if you want to go, 3, 2, 1.
That's why it's so sad. Is they're like, all right, time to put my diaper on and go to Times Square, and just so I can maybe be on TV and feel like I'm a part of something. I don't know,
Yeah,
man. Maybe
yeah.
you should be a
It's pretty lame.
yeah.
Well, moving right along through that delightful departure. Hey, Tarkov though, which we're gonna play after this, and I'm very excited about.
Yeah.
The new wipe. A lot of people are saying it's a lot of people are saying it's best, like tremendous, like nothing you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Everybody that I'm aware of is saying that this is one of the better wipes. The recoil changes have been more forgiving for people that can't no life the game, like myself. And there's been a lot of cool moments so far. What are your Greg? I know you haven't had a chance to get in Tarkov yet until later this evening. But what have your experiences been, Jared?
It's been really good. They fixed the recoil, and I'm going to use fixed because it was broken and it was bad. I think maybe there's some people who are in the vast minority that were like, this is cool, this is realistic. I don't know who those people are. They sound like idiots. The recoil is really good now because it's not as startling as it was before.
Yeah.
Generally, I feel like I hit level 15 way faster this time. Way faster.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm not there, so good on you.
Yeah, I enjoyed that because in a lot of ways, I think that's where the game begins for me. I enjoy the flea market, which unlocks level
Right.
15 the most. But just generally, it's been really good. I've had a lot of, Tarkov is always going to have those frustrating moments, and I've definitely had those. But one of the things that I've enjoyed doing the most is I'm not going to say subverting the meta, but there is sort of a pretense that Tarkov, if you're playing this game, you're going to play it tactically, you're going to go in, you're going to try and be an operator and all that. And what I've been doing lately with a mutual acquaintance of ours, my soon-to-be brother-in-law, we load into Factory, which is the smallest map in the game, with
Yeah.
we have double-barrel shotguns. And I have a ski mask.
Yeah.
I always wear a ski mask because I'm a bandit. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying?
You do.
Yeah. We
Right.
get in there with double barrel shotguns and we just try and climb up to the top, baby. We just get in. Oh, and a
yeah, dude?
grenade. And a grenade. So we just load in and just try and rat around and take out anybody we can with those double barrels. And it's a blast, dude. It's a blast.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
so much fun. So I'm having a great time.
Now,
with
what are
stuff.
you putting in those? What are you putting in those double barrels? You doing flechettes or slugs? Or what are you doing?
Cheap gear right now. Maybe I'll graduate to flechettes, but right now it's just 7mm buckshot, baby, and it's doing the job. It really is working.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Especially if you get up in the Raptors of Factory. Like, I've had a little success up there, especially when I was trying to get pistol kills for that stirrup quest.
Yeah.
You can really surprise people because you're already have an advantage to, like, look at their heads, you know?
Right.
And most people do know to look up there from time to time, but if they've just come out of a door and they haven't, like, had a chance to find you yet, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Also, shotguns in that game are mega awesome.
They are a lot of fun.
The sound design and just the clickety clack of all the gun parts in the game generally just is really good.
Yeah.
And so it rewards you with a very visceral experience using shotguns. So I saw a video a little while ago of Pestily playing, and he got two-tapped in the back with shotgun slugs. He was wearing like level 4, level 5 armor. Totally just knocked him out.
Dang,
like,
wow.
Pop, slugs gone. And it was just like in the back, and he had armor on. So I don't know. I might have some gripes later on about armor, but the new armor system generally is pretty cool. Deg, you will not find this to be very friendly because it's just more micromanagement. But you know how we had to tell you the difference between, like, there's a tactical vest, which holds all your stuff, and then there's your body armor. There are types of tactical vests that are armored so that you don't have to bring armor. But those are two different, like, items. Well, now, in the individual body armor slot, there can be multiple armor plates depending on the armor. So instead of just picking up armor and putting it on and being done with it, and then, like, it has a HP meter that kind of goes away, there are individual plates, front and back and side and side. And some of them have, like, groin and neck, and, like, there's these individual armor plates, and those are discrete items that you can take off and repair and put back, or, you know, get different ones. And so as long as it's the right format, the right shape, like, I can get a different front plate that is a level 5 plate, then I can put it in a level 3, as it formerly was known, body armor, which is interesting. I found the I don't know if this is default, Jared, but the like press war journalist looking armor is like level 4 plates in it. And I don't know if somebody put those in there and I scooped it up sort of by happenstance or what, but I was like, hey, this is my best armor right now.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's interesting because you used to be able to just look at somebody and go, oh, they have trooper, you know, they have, like, decent armor, or they have such and such. And now there's no really way to know until if you kill them, you know, go find what armor they were wearing.
Yeah.
Any other changes to the game that you're digging right now from this wipe?
You know, honestly, it's the recoil for me. Just being able to open fire and you know, you got to control it a little bit, but there's an element of fun that just completely was not there for me last wipe. It was like,
I'm excited for Greg to join us tonight because it'll make it more enjoyable for folks like him that aren't really big Tarkov guys in the past.
Right, and that's the thing is that this game is full of so many hardcore players that you quickly fall behind, and that's just something you have to come to grips with. You just have to understand that. But before, it was like, if I don't get the jump on somebody, and you know, they need to be way across the map, and I just need to have optics. Like, that's the only chance I have to kill somebody. But now I feel like if I run into someone, it's a little bit more manageable. I'm still dying if they have better gear, probably, but it is more fun. I feel like I'm more in control. It's less just like, oh, well, okay, there's nothing I could have done. That's great. You know, why do I play this game? So I'm enjoying that.
Yeah, that's huge. I've enjoyed the vaulting more than I thought I would. There's been times where I was trying to negotiate the terrain of the map and try to get from, like, especially on the new map, Ground Zero, that's meant for sort of those intro quests at the beginning, which I still haven't done all those, so we'll need to knock those out tonight if we can. No, between me and Greg, we'll have to try to do those. That intro map, because it has, you know, an urban kind of vibe to it, there's lots of, like, you know, barricades and street obstacles, you know, that are like chest height or waist height that you can just vault right over, and it doesn't take, like, an obscene amount of stamina. I don't think it takes very much at all. That has been something that made a lot of sense to me. The way they implemented it was just holding down the space bar and then, like, walking to it, you'll vault over it. And I think they nailed that so far. It has also made it easier to get to certain parts of the map that you couldn't before, which is interesting. I think it'll be trickier to find people that are like you're doing a factory, kind of ratting around. That makes it pretty sweet. Yeah, the new intro map has a classic opportunity for a Tarkov moment. Remember when we first played and you found that claymore in that office?
I do remember that. Yes.
that was vintage Tarkov. They decided, Greg, I know you weren't there, but we were exploring the new map, and there's this spot that they put a claymore. There's like a safe in an office, and so you think, oh yeah, loot. I need to go find that, and it's pretty close to one of the spawns. And so if you don't know the map at all yet, you're exploring. You're like, oh cool, and on the wall in Cyrillic, in Russian, it says, don't go this way. But you don't know that because you probably don't read friggin' Russian.
Right.
And you go that way, and there's one office that you turn in, and you're like, oh, look, there's a safe. And you go in there, and as soon as you walk in,
I can't believe I found the one room.
yeah,
On our
the one
first
room in the
run.
map that does that. There's landmines elsewhere on the map, but there's signs that say so. And in that one, I wondered, when I went to that same spot myself, just like I grabbed my phone, and I use the Google Lens like translator thing, and I do that occasionally in Tarkov when I'm playing, especially offline raids, and I just want to read some of the Russian stuff that's around. And it translated it to like, don't go this way. I was like, oh, nice. All the Russian players were like, you fell for it again, you stupid. You know? I didn't know. So yeah,
You've
the
been
new
playing
map,
golf with your enemies, haven't you?
that's what, Tarkov is golf with your enemies. yeah. Yeah, so the new map's pretty cool. Packs a lot of features into one spot. There's vaulting, there's recoil changes, there's armor changes. Folks, if you're not playing Tarkov, now's a great time. Early wipe is the best time. So, well, that brings us to a look forward. Let's talk about what we're looking forward to in 2024. Real fast, off the cuff, you guys got anything that you know is coming out? Something that you're doing, a trip? Like, what's up in 2024 that you're looking forward to?
Greg, go ahead. Yeah, I haven't heard your beautiful voice in the last 10 minutes.
Oh, well, thank you. On a personal note, my wife is pregnant, and we're having our baby in June, which is so cool. That is by far what I'm looking forward to the most in 2024.
Pretty stoked on that release date. That's going to be a good one. I'm going to have to check that one. I'm pretty sure the reviews are going to be through the roof.
Midnight release at GameStop is going to be insane.
It's going to be going to remind me just like of Halo 2 in 2004 when it came out. But
Degless 2.
Degless 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo, that's right. But yeah, so my wife's having a baby, which is cool. No big trips planned, largely because we're having a child and trying to save money and all that stuff, which is cool. As far as games go, the Elden Ring DLC is supposed to come out this year. And it's still really up in the air. I imagine we'll hear something really pretty soon about that, which is cool. The Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 is coming out in February, but I can't play it because I don't have a PlayStation 5 because it's a PS5 exclusive.
Yeah. For now, it will be. I'm sure it'll come to Steam eventually.
Other than that, though, nothing really. Like I'm kind of a simp for Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. I love them, but the MCU has been kind of terrible recently.
Yeah, no kidding. It's something that I have totally skipped out on for the past couple years.
Yeah, ever since Endgame came out, I feel like it's been a general decline in quality.
Right.
But this year in particular, I think is going to be pretty bad because like 2 or 3 of the movies that were supposed to come out this year have been pushed back to 2025 or 2026. Blade, which I'm like actually really looking forward to. The MCU remake of Blade that got pushed back a year, and so it's just kind of it's kind of lame for Marvel. I feel like they're kind of in this weird place where they are trying to find themselves again. Because they were in such a high place after Infinity War and Endgame came out. Those are two great movies.
It was all there was. I was getting a little bit tired of it then, and then people got really tired of it later.
Yeah.
I think there was a finite amount of patience folks had for comic book characters that they may or may not have heard of before.
Yeah, totally.
Well, when they do come out, you'll have to be our boots on the ground on that one, man. I'll keep my eyes out and see what's worth watching. I'll let you recommend. I'm pretty out of touch on those.
Yeah, in 2029 when Avengers 5 comes out or whatever, and we're on Grasstouchers episode 3000, and we have
Yeah.
400 viewers at that point, 400 listeners at that point,
Yeah.
I'll give you the update. So
All right, that sounds good. Jared, you got anything offhand that you know is coming out 2024?
Tekken 8 comes out
Oh,
in a couple weeks, and I'm super stoked about that. I
Okay.
love. I was playing Tekken when I was a young boy, and I enjoy fighting games as a grown man, and I'm really gonna enjoy that one. I'm
nice,
excited.
man.
Excited for it.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I've compiled a little list here for us to check out together, gentlemen. I'm going to share my screen for the meantime, just so when I click some of these links, you can check it out. The first one is a game coming out. These first few will all be games called Ghost Bike. Ghost Bike is looking pretty cool. Link, please. Give me. Go to it.
hey,
Can you see that?
yeah, I can see that.
Check the tunes on that.
Yeah, cool already. Dang, sick trailer, dude.
So yeah, it looks super good. I'm really into the cell shaded Wind Waker freaking look of that. Not to mention it's just a really chill kind of game.
Yeah.
It is from the same folks that made I don't know if you guys have played these, but I have What Remains of Edith Finch, which is like a mystery game, puzzle game. It was on Game Pass at one time, so I checked it out. And Outer Wilds, which I also played on Game Pass, I think, on Xbox. Yeah, it just looks like a really chill biking game with an emphasis on music. They like specifically credit who did the soundtrack.
Cool.
And if you've ever played Ollie Ollie World or Lonely Mountains, those are kind of similar, and I love both of those games. So
I saw a movie called
at the very
Lonely
least that'll
Mountains
be
once. Is that the same thing?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, these two
I
cowboys.
doubt it.
Two cowboys kind of hanging out together. They get to know each
Oh
other.
yeah.
Things they go a direction you might not expect.
Oh.
oh man,
That's right.
Yeah, so that'll be perfect Steam Deck fodder if you ask me. The next one is called Concord. Get a load of this boy.
They made a game about red jelly.
You guys, finally.
They did.
They did it.
Science has accomplished what no man thought was possible.
So, yeah, speaking of science, this is like absolute sci-fi wet dream.
ooh,
So, like, what is it, though?
Right.
We have no idea. I just wanted to share that with you because it's something I randomly came across. It has Starfield vibes, which is, of course, concerning.
well, it probably had like half the, or they probably started the development cycle on that game like 6 months ago, and it's going to be a better game than Starfield. So
Yeah, right. Watch it. Coming out this year, and the teaser is that short and that engaging. Like, it was pretty cool. From Firewalk Studios. How about Hades? You guys ever play Hades?
Oh, yeah.
I have not. I've been super curious to play it for a while.
Greg, you would love it. It's a perfect Steam Deck game or Switch game. I actually played it on the Switch. I didn't know Life It, but I really enjoyed it on a work trip I had to take one time. It's a roguelike, true to form. Like, you play and you suck at first and you die and you go back, and there's all this sort of mythology with like, the king of the underworld and all these other gods and demigods and spirits, and you level up and you get new weapons and you get new movesets, and you create a build, and then that build becomes what gets you one step further. There's all these boss fights in the meantime. I never beat it, actually. I got to the very, very last boss fight and couldn't finish it one time. But anyway, great voice acting, great art style, and the second one is coming out in 2024. So that's gonna be something I check out, I think. It was also nice that it was a game that could actually reliably run on the Switch at not 2 frames a second. And so whether on the Switch or Steam Deck, I think I'll be checking that boy out. And then you guys know Video Game Donkey, right? Okay, YouTube.
I was gonna say I
Megastar.
saw Big.
Yeah.
Yeah, Big Mode is putting out their first game this year. It's called Animal Well. I'll look up like a trailer for it or something real fast. It doesn't look to be my cup of tea, but I will probably check it out if for no other reason than because it's Big Mode, and that's kind of rad. I bet Deg would dig this based on how much he's been doing SNES type stuff.
Well, it immediately has the same vibe as Celeste, which I was super into Celeste. That game was
Oh,
awesome.
sure. Okay. Yeah.
Dude, that game looks dope.
Looks cool, right? Super atmospheric, super moody, very clearly drawing from certain inspirations. I think that's going to be pretty neat. Not something, like I said, I normally am going to check out, but I'll make an exception. So
that's cool.
hardware, I bet Jared will have more to say about this because he's more in tune with handhelds and stuff, but there should be, at some point this year, some sort of announcements about a Switch 2, Switch Pro, Switch Max, some sort of sequel to the Switch. When you look at the hardware of the Switch and how it fails to keep up with some others.
Anything?
It fails to keep up with my phone. It's a long overdue change, I think, for Nintendo to have a new console. I forget sometimes the Switch has been out for as long as it has, right? I think it's like 7 or 8 years now.
Yeah, 2017, I think, is when it came out.
Switch release. Yeah, 2017, March. So coming up on 7 years, which, the console life cycle can be long. But if the only refresh you have is like a light version with the same horsepower and an OLED version with the same exact horsepower, I think that's it's going to be weak sauce. And I think developers have a hard time. I mean, people will port anything to the Switch regardless of whether it runs well. But anyway, that'll be cool. I already told my son that when we get a new Switch that he can just like have the old one. And he's like, "Can I really, Dad?" I was like, "Yes, son. You can play Minecraft or whatever on the on the Switch. He doesn't care, Right. The longer I can keep him away from being a graphics snob or a PC gamer or anything, the better. Any other hardware stuff you guys know about?
The Retroid's putting out the Pocket 4. It's going to be shipping out in like the Pro version is going to be shipping out in a couple weeks, and then the basic version a few weeks after that. And it's a step for pocketable devices playing like all of PS2 and GameCube well. So that's going to be cool. And aside from that, I can't think of anything that's like breaking like new ground. Even the Switch, I heard the new Switch is like going to be more iterative than people are going to be excited about.
Oh, really?
It's like,
was there a leak of any kind?
I don't know if it's a leak. I think I just saw like something like Nintendo saying like it's not going to be like a brand new console. It's just going to be, which is really annoying. These days all the companies are doing that. It's like I kind of enjoyed, I mean, I wasn't able to fully enjoy it at the time because I didn't have like adult money to just go out and like buy a console at launch all the time. But when a console would launch and it had like launch titles and it was like exciting, nowadays it's just kind of, they kind of, mesh into each other, and this console, they play the same games until the technology outgrows it, and so it's probably just gonna be something like that. I don't know if the Switch is gonna be breaking new ground, but I hope that they come out with like a bunch of new original IPs or sequels to old serialized games and that take advantage.
That's what I'm
of the
saying.
software.
I know they've been sitting on Metroid Prime. They've been sitting on Metroid Prime 4 for like a long freaking time.
Right.
Like over a decade since they announced.
God, I would just kill for that. I would love to see that. And there's a chance that it will not break ground per se, but just for there to be something meaningful in terms of what it can do, I think would be good. Even if it's the same basic format of like having detachable stuff on it, and it's like a dock thing, and the dock doesn't add horsepower, but it just sort of is a dock. I think it'd be nice if the dock did add horsepower. That makes sense to me, to make it a true like couch console and not just a on the go thing. But that's all right. Well, to pivot a little bit, we've got some movies that are coming out in 2024. We are not just video game enjoyers over here. We all love lots of different things. So we got Dune. I'm just going to blow through them real fast.
Yeah.
Dune Part 2. Super stoked.
Mm-hmm.
Just watched Dune Part 1 last night. Greg said he hasn't seen it. He's going to check it out tomorrow and tell me about it. We got Gladiator 2. I am not a fan of remakes. Don't get me wrong. I am absolutely fed up with the remake industrial complex right now.
Sure.
However, come on. Russell Crowe, Ridley Scott, Gladiator, that's a banger. And if it goes well, I think that would be pretty cool. Totally here
but
for
only
it.
if Russell Crowe sings his solo from Les Miserables. Like,
right.
That would just be the best.
Gladiator 2, the musical. Yeah, that's got to be it for sure. We have here's a wacky one. Mickey 17 has nothing to do with Mickey Mouse. I'll tell you right now. Mickey 17 is a sci-fi flick from an excellent director, Mr. Bong Joon-ho, director of Parasite and Snowpiercer and some other flicks. Excellent South Korean fella that has made some absolute bangers of movies. Parasite, I don't know if you guys remember a few years ago, it absolutely swept a bunch of like Oscars and other awards. Great movie. Absolutely wonderful movie. I feel like it might still be on Hulu if you guys haven't seen it. It sounds like you've already seen it, Jared, but Greg, if you haven't checked it out, it's pretty radical. So it's just some sci-fi movie that Bong Joon-ho's making, and it's an original just idea, and I'm very excited about that. We have Inside Out 2, shameless plug. I, as a former teacher, just have all kinds of appreciation for Inside Out. I think it's a great flick. Helps kids talk about their feelings. Are we having some feelings? Let's talk about those.
Inside Out, the first one is a fantastic movie. It's a wonderful movie.
I feel like we quote it all the time in our family when we're talking about our kids. Like, I think they made a core memory today. That was really cute.
They should do Inside Out too, but it's a blurred. It's like a Dragon Ball Z blurred, and it's just like all anger. It's just him screaming.
Yeah, right. I think it should have been called Outside In. Yeah.
Whoa! Sounds like New Year's Eve in Times Square, folks. A lot of diapers out there.
Oh god. After that, we have here's another original, Horizon: An American Saga, Chapter 1 of a planned 4. Kevin Costner hopping into the director's chair. He also directed Dances with Wolves, if you recall. He wasn't just the main guy in Dances with Wolves, he was directing. That brings us to Nosferatu. You guys know about Nosferatu.
Yeah.
This is, again, not a huge fan of the remake Industrial Complex, but Robert Eggers, another favorite director of mine, he made The Northman, which I loved.
Skarsgård.
Yeah, Skarsgård all over the place. So Robert Eggers is directing a remake of the 1920s classic Nosferatu, and I bet that will not suck as long as it goes well. I bet I'll be seeing that. So that's the movies I brought to the table. That brings us to TV. We have Fallout. Amazon taking a stab at the video game TV show transition. That Halo show got a second season. I don't know if it's any good or not. So I don't know. I don't know, man. Can video games just be video games? You know, like I don't think I need to transition to another form of media necessarily. I'm not dying for it.
Now, I will say I watched the first 3 episodes of Halo over like while I was visiting in North Carolina, and I really liked it. I've heard lots of good things about it, so I'm actually curious to see season 2 because I think it comes out in February, late January, early February.
Word.
So, but the season 1 was actually like really good, shockingly.
Nice. Well, that's cool, man. Well, hopefully this one goes at least as well as that one. That brings us to Masters of the Air. Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg at it again. America's Dad, being directed by America's Granddad. I will literally always watch that's dad core freaking movies, you know, to me. Saving Private Ryan, you know, you got me. So Masters of the Air, that's going to be on Apple TV, I think. Avatar: The Last Airbender. You guys get a load of this? Do you see the trailer for this?
No. I have not seen it.
Okay, here we go with trailer time.
We got to watch it.
Avatar: The Last Airbender trailer. This is a TV show, live action on Netflix.
Is it by the people that produced the animated version?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure of the overlap, but it looks pretty faithful to the animated version for what that's worth. Are you guys hip to the? You guys are hip to the animated version,
well,
right?
the animated version is really, really good, and then the spinoff show,
it's outstanding.
Legend of Korra, I think is even better than Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Legend of Korra is very cool. Jared, are you hip to Avatar? Are we down with this?
I know of its existence. I've been over here thinking about Avatar: The Airbender. So don't ask me. I don't have anything good to add.
You mean the M. Night Shyamalan movie?
Yeah, and he's just farting and
that movie was
doing Shaolin stuff, and it's just going
so
into people's
bad.
Noses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So here's that trailer.
Yo, that older dude is the guy who plays like the X-Wing pilot in The Mandalorian.
Yes. Some familiar faces. Some real quality actors. And just the look of it, I think, is important, right? They've managed to pick people that hopefully have good performances, but they between the makeup and sort of hair and like everything department, it looks like what I would expect it to look like. Like, it looks like it's been taken from animation to live action, and I think it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks cool.
I am into that.
I don't care about that franchise at all, and I'd probably watch that.
Right. It's not like I'm really not. I think Avatar: The Last Airbender, the animated show, is like baby's first anime to me. Right. Like, I am not an anime dude, but if I was gonna kind of dip my toe in those waters, I would start there because it's a pretty fun show, and my kids like it. In fact, one year, my son Maxwell was Aang from Avatar because we were super into it. And
you shave his head.
I wanted to, but no, I decided not to. I was like, oh, we can go all the way. Then we have another Dune situation on our hands. Dune Prophecy, a little prequel spinoff to the Duneverse. It's going to be on HBO. I don't have HBO Max, or just Max as it's called. It's a prequel spinoff that takes place thousands of years before the events of Dune Part 1, with the story that everybody's familiar with, where the Bene Gesserit are sort of slowly making their plans to make the thing happen. So I will probably check that out if I can swing HBO. And we have Star Wars The Acolyte. In my notes, Greg was giving me a hard time earlier because in my notes for that I have, okay, fine. Because it's more Star Wars content that, like, it better not suck, man. You know, I just like, but hopefully it'll be good. It jumps back to the High Republic, which is pre-Phantom Menace kind of era, which is that's right, dude. Yeah, you thought Yoda was whack in the things you've seen him in now. Wait till you see the little green man after he's been smoking the green.
Broda.
Broda, dude.
Going to Yoda's house, he's just a Bob Marley poster on his wall.
Yeah, back
in
Yoda's
dreadlocks.
when Yoda was only 400 years old. He was, yeah.
Dang, I hate Star Wars so much. Keep going. I'm sorry.
No, I know. This is what I was saying with Greg. Like, you're gonna have to roll your eyes about that every week when we talk about it. It is not that. It is not that bad. The premise, right? Go back to something that there is no canon established for yet. Like, the sky's the limit. But that also means they can get up to their usual Kathleen Kennedy designed by committee hijinks, where the movie, or the show rather, just kind of sucks all the way around because it doesn't have a purpose or a vision or a calling to rise to. So whatever, we'll see. And then the last thing, oh my gosh, you guys, if you haven't seen Severance on Apple TV, it is killer. It is so good. Love that show. And hopefully season 2 will be coming out this year. It's not been confirmed in any way, but it's certainly been long enough since the first season aired. It seems like it could happen. Now that those strikes and everything are over, maybe there's some roadblocks that they were able to get past and they can finish that up, because that would be sick. I would love to see a second season of that. ASAP. And that brings us to the outro.
So thank you again, everybody, for following us and listening. It is much appreciated. Make sure to like us on Instagram at 3 Grasstouchers, and also to follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. This is a project of passion for the three of us. We love it. And we have so much fun doing it, and we do it for you guys. As much as fun as we have, the three of us talking together, we've done that for years, just playing video games. But we do it the way we do it now for other people to enjoy. So continue, to support us and provide us with any feedback that you have. And again, Instagram and X and Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
That's right. Thanks, guys, so much for listening. Thanks for tuning in this week. That's going to do it for us. Don't forget to get out there and touch some grass.